This could go on forever.
Hello! We're all here.
Yes.
We can't agree on how to start this video, so we're just going to do it. How was E3, guys? How are we all feeling?
Really positive. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah?
Hay fevery.
Hay fevery?
Yeah, I've sneezed like 3 times today.
Have you?
Yeah.
I think I'm the only
on.
one not suffering with hay fever. But I did give blood yesterday, so I'm the real hero here.
Oh, God, rub it in.
No,
Right?
heroes wear
I'm never
capes.
going to shut up about
Oh,
it.
it's Star Wars.
It's the Star Wars plaster. Yeah. Anyway, E3. What a week.
Yeah.
Lots of announcements from various places, mainly Nintendo, and a lot of gameplay footage from things that we already knew about from other places, Sony.
Yes.
We thought what we would do is go around the room and ask for 2 things that we liked a lot and 1 thing that we didn't like so much.
It's the sharing semicircle.
Yes,
Sharing is
the
caring.
feces sandwich, I believe, is what they call it in business, with 2 good things and a bad thing in the middle.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, is that it?
Yeah.
Tasty.
Can we do a round of good things first?
Yeah, do you want to
Yeah.
start, Scott?
I can. My number 2 was Monster Hunter World on the PS4.
He's
which-
brought a half post-it note in case he forgot his tooth.
I genuinely forgot
That's
about
okay.
it.
Hide your,
Oh, thank you.
hide your modesty, Scott.
Professionally. Yeah, so my number 2 was Monster Hunter World, which, as a huge Monster Hunter fan, that getting on any home console is awesome. We haven't had a home console Monster Hunter since like the Wii or the Wii U, whatever it was. And just getting onto something more powerful like the PS4 is awesome.
Yeah.
I think you liked it as well.
Oh,
You're a
it
Monster
looks
Hunter guy.
fantastic.
It looks
the
so
amount,
good.
the amount
Yeah.
of stuff that they've added in, like the grappling hook and the stealth mechanics, the sort of tracking systems. There's just so much more in a game that already has a lot in. And they, in the graphical showcase of all of the environments, the destructible and changeable stuff, I was like, that's really, really impressive.
I wonder how much they'll do, because there's a whole new audience on like a whole new console, so I'm like, I wonder how much they'll do a better introduction to that game's mechanics.
They should
because
do.
Monster Hunter
It's
is
pretty complicated,
thick.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's very deep.
I think it's, is it the first one on PlayStation consoles we were saying since PSP?
Yeah,
a long time.
Monster Hunter 4, I think, or whatever.
It's been a while. There were a couple on PSP. My friends were obsessed with it.
Oh, they're incredible.
It's a lot of menus.
Yeah.
The thing is that
Oh,
Monster
boy.
Hunter 4 set the bar pretty high, so this is going to have to do quite a lot.
It's the scale of these games, though. Like, you know, not many games, even nowadays, not that many games allow you to clamber across a giant thing.
No, yeah.
No.
You know,
That's what's so good.
it's more common nowadays than it used to be, but it's still, you know, it's fun when that finally comes around again.
Yeah.
I just love it. Like their whole approach to bosses is like trying to look at it and be like, okay, it's sweating. That means that I've tired it out. That means that stamina is a thing. I need to figure that out. And it's just a great approach to like boss battle gaming, which I really liked. So that was my number 2.
Yeah, fair play.
So my number 1 was Mario Odyssey, which I
Yeah,
just think
fair.
that was
I was about
a
to say.
hell of a trailer.
Yes.
That was Nintendo's dick on the
was.
table.
We talked about
Double.
that in the Nintendo wrap-up.
We
video
did.
that will have already gone out by this point.
Hope so,
But,
yes.
yeah, it looks insane, doesn't it?
It's just an excuse of them to be like, right, we need a whole new mechanic. What if the hat possessed anything around? What about a T-Rex? What about a lamppost?
Hattie.
What about
Cappy?
whatever? Cappy.
Cappy.
Hattie's a little bit better, but
yeah,
Cappy's
Hattie's an
good.
actual name.
Hattie, yeah. Because the thing is, when they first showed it at it was at the Switch like launch event, wasn't it? It got its first thing. That looked like, oh, this is a great new thing that looks like, you know, it's still in the kind of ilk of like Galaxy and Sunshine and 64. But there seemed to be something going on with the hat, but we didn't really know what it was. And now that they've like dropped that,
Possessed by a ghost hat.
it's like a whole extra thing. Like even if they just brought out another, you know, the likes of Galaxy kind of thing, that would have been cool. But now it's like this extra awesome thing.
I think it looks really sweet. I mean, yeah.
Just calling the ending of that game right here, right now. This is an exclusive.
This is perfect.
Mario's going to use the hat to possess Bowser.
Shake hands.
There it is.
That's what's
Or they get
Bowser,
married.
Bowser was wearing a sick hat.
I know,
Anyway,
he
though.
He's like a
he had his
pimp in
own-
New
As
Donk
if they'd
City.
ever take it
That
off.
always happens in Mario. It's like
Yeah.
an
It's
opposing
going to
force.
knock his hat off. The evil hat's going to unpossess Bowser, and Bowser's going to be like, I'm so sorry and full of regret, and then he's going to take a gun and kill himself.
Oh,
God.
They
wow.
do have guns, not in this universe.
like
though.
Conquer.
In
Yeah, the
Rabbids
rabbit ones. Yeah,
universe, but we'll get to
oh
that.
god, maybe it's a rabbit. Oh no.
We'll find out. Maybe that's the whole thing. The whole entire Mario universe, Nintendo's universe, is governed by hats.
Did you watch the Treehouse playthrough they did in the woods? That looked fantastic.
Yeah,
and
it just
the
looks
fact that
gorgeous.
They're so varied in the environments, and they've always been quite famous for having quite a vast expanse of things to explore. So definitely looking forward to that one. I'm with you
Yes.
there on that.
fun.
Do you want to do negatives as well?
Should we let's
We'll
say
save
all
it.
the
Save
positives.
them.
We'll do
Yeah, we'll end on all the
all
Yeah.
the terrible stuff we'll do
Yeah.
at the same time. Jules, what did you like?
I know one of mine. I can't remember the other one that I messaged you earlier on.
Could have had one of them, couldn't you?
Yeah,
Like a
yeah,
little
yeah.
one of those
Yeah,
notes.
I think I know.
Chastise me
So
for
I
it.
know that one of the big ones was Battlefront 2.
Oh,
That
God.
is like that looked spectacular, and they are using. It was so clever of them to use one of the most popular maps of the original Battlefront games as a sort of showcase to start the
Theed, yes.
city.
We can totally talk about the idea as the prequel era gets more into the mainstream again. It's going to become okay to say that those prequel movies are anything other than TOS, and we're seeing that with Battlefront 2.
I'm still going to be very much against the prequel films, but I love
scripts, yes.
But the scripts.
The scripts, that's what it is. The world.
That's the thing. The worlds are great.
Mostly okay.
Technology,
But I'm not with you guys on wanting to see a Gungan battle.
I'll totally take a Gungan battle.
I'm very okay with it just being like the the cis white droids against the against the rebels.
I want little rabbity Gungan men, and I want to control them
on the planes outside.
Just that with the shields and the blue orbs.
And you know what though, I'm actually pretty okay with not having droid deck cars in there as well.
Droid cars.
Droid deck cars.
Droidy cars.
Droid cars.
They will be, I think, like a playable card if the card system remains. Because you've had that in the Battlefront 1, you could like get TIE bombers and stuff, and you can't fly them, but they can just like fly around.
The aerial combat looked fantastic as well. Like in terms of a graphical front, it looks exactly how I want it to look, and the fact that EA seems to be doing a nice guy bait and switch where they're going like, no season pass, free DLC. It's. I do feel like there's a dagger being held behind the back, maybe. But at the moment, I'm very ready to hug them. Very ready.
It is one of those sequels where they've clearly looked at the fan response and they've gone, right, we need to do this, and this, and that's just been their opening gambit because everything is lining up really, really well.
They've genuinely looked at everything that's been said. Like
they've even ditched the card system.
That's commendable. Oh, have they?
It's just classes now. I think.
We'll see.
So that was my first one. Really looking forward to that.
Dragon Ball is your other one.
Oh, Dragon Ball Fighter Z!
Yes.
Yeah!
Which we talked about in something we did. It's been a bit of a blur.
In the Microsoft conference.
Yes, which is online.
This game looks amazing. It's exactly what I wanted Street Fighter V to be. Completely over the top. Loads of kind of ridiculous special moves. The graphical
visuals
quality of it. Very, very nice. And to be honest, I'm okay with retreading the same Dragon Ball storyline again and again and again.
Yeah.
I mean, I buy every single Dynasty Warriors game, so I'm used to doing the same thing. Apparently, I love repetition. But this game looks like it's going to be fantastic.
That's the thing with this Dragon Ball thing. It's been developed by the Guilty Gear guys, the GGGs, and the Xrd men. And the whole thing with that visual presentation, like that game looks 2D, but it's actually 3D. That was like a technique they pulled off in the old Guilty Gear games. I mentioned this in the Xbox thing, but it's such a lush graphics engine. Like it looks so good.
And like when I saw that it was going to be announced, I was in no way planning for this to be one of my favourite things to take away from E3, but it really did capture my interest and my heart.
Good. Sneaky Pete, what you got?
Sneaky Pete.
My number 2 is I think God of War.
Yeah,
God of War. I like to be a God of War.
It looks spectacular. Again, we'd already seen some. Was it last E3? It seems,
That's
it
when they
seems more
announced
recent
it.
than that. Yeah, God. But anyway,
Starring Jules' dad as well.
Yeah. Jules, but if Jules was actually exposed to any testosterone in the womb whatsoever.
Wow. Well, I did actually say in a comeback to this that it kind of looked like me, but with your skin.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's true.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, I'll take
bow.
that. Yeah, but
it looked great though, didn't it?
Yeah, it looks so good, both from just a purely visual standpoint. It's all crisp and lovely and sexy, and the textures are amazing. But the combat itself was
they've been playing Dark Souls, haven't they?
Yeah, they have been playing Dark Souls. But that's fine. Everyone
Yeah.
seems to have been playing Dark Souls recently.
They really have.
This year, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
But that's good. You know, it's nice that every so often a franchise comes along and says, "This is how everyone has to do this from now on," because we've done it really well.
Well, it's like the Arkham. Everyone had the Arkham fighting system.
Yeah, right.
Like Spider-Man still got it.
And so I think the combat looks great, and I also, in sort of the same vein as Monster Hunter, I really like fighting really big things and like clambering around and trying to tricksy through their legs.
The Last of Us and Dark Souls had a baby.
It looks so much fun.
It's way more heavy. Like you've got all the stuff with his son, and they're really leaning on. They really want to humanize Kratos because he's been such a douche for so long.
He's just a.
That's all he's done
For 4 games.
What's your motivation?
A big bag of meat with some red on
But his
him.
motivation is that he accidentally killed his family. That's the worst motivation for anyone.
Well, Ares forced
Spoilers.
him, and now he's mad.
But he just
John
set him
Wick made
loose.
2 films about someone killed his dog.
That's true.
That's better. At least that wasn't him that did it. If he killed his own dog and then did it,
If someone
It's
forced
like-
him to kill his dog, he'd be angry.
Yeah, well,
We've all been angry in real life. We
have.
realise
We've
how
all killed our families.
We all,
Yeah,
we
I've
all
never
realise,
killed my
we realise
family.
how
Accidentally.
exhausting it is after a while. Being angry takes
He
a
does
lot
look
of
nasty.
effort.
So
He's just like,
furious.
oh, I'm so tired.
How old is he now? He looks really old.
I love how
bet
he's-
he's 30.
He's
so tired.
seen it all and done it all so much so that when that giant
slept with
snake
everyone.
lizard like comes out,
Oh,
he's not
dude.
even faced. He's just kind of like,
Eat
what
me.
do you want?
Yeah,
what
what
now?
now?
Just bite my head off and let me sleep. Do you think by the end he's going to kill his son?
I think the son will kill him.
By accident.
Oh God! He's gonna like
No, he just gets paler.
at like the 90% mark. He's gonna have like this moment of retribution where he's like, "It's okay. It was a mistake with Ares and stuff. It's fine. It's all okay." And then at the last minute, he accidentally chops his son's head off, and he just goes back to where he was again.
I reckon that he's going to reach back with his boomerang. He's going to accidentally clunk his son in the head and turn around and say, "Oh, it was just an accident."
Oh no!
Then he'll look at the camera, freeze frame, Happy Days music.
Yeah.
Monday, happy days.
I mean, we do need another whole franchise, so they need something to go
He
for.
needs,
Son
he
of
needs to
War.
make it through. Son of War, yeah.
Son of War. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Son of God of War.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not rising
no,
on the
but
planet
he's
of the
not the
apes.
God of War.
It's not.
Crate offspring.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Right.
Okay.
That was a crate joke.
No, thank you.
Oh.
What's your other one?
Next one is probably maybe like the game that I've sort of kind of been waiting for.
Sort of mentioned it a few times.
Nearly 15 years.
Yeah.
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Took them long enough.
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Hello. Good day.
Hello. It's quite a special moment for me. Is that? It's not racist,
Oh, bless
is
him,
it?
man. That was awesome.
It's not racist,
There's
it's
like
mildly xenophobic.
There's a
It's
rule
fine.
where, like, for 2-country radius, you can do the impression and it's totally fine. And then if you get beyond that, that's like.
I think France and England have done worse things to each other.
Oh, definitely.
So I think we'll be okay.
Michel Ancel's done worse things to me, like saying it's not.
It's not
Hell of a
happening.
comparison.
It's not going to be there at 2017 E3, and then
So
it,
we did shoot a video, but we're not doing that now. We're doing a list.
I'm
right?
gonna
So
do
there
it
is going to be
better.
a full breakdown of Beyond Good and Evil 2's trailer very
Beyond
soon.
Good and Easter eggs is
Yeah.
what.
Oh.
I've got like
You
20.
can't do it
of them.
every time. You can't
East
do it
2
every time.
eggs. Beyond Good and East 2 eggs.
Stop.
Nice.
Stop. But, so there was actually ages ago, like a CGI trailer came out that had Jaden Page in it. That seems to have just been
Yeah,
canned
they just seem
now.
to have completely changed it. It's a
But
prequel now.
That's okay. So, well, that's the thing. So, in terms of it being my highlight, at the time, as Ben will attest, I was having a horrible time because for the first like 30 seconds, I wasn't even sure if it was Beyond Good and Evil. I thought they'd just done another Pigman thing that was totally different.
Yeah, just killed the franchise dead. We've got Pigmen now.
Yeah,
Screw you, Beyond
we've
Good
done a
and
new
Evil.
Pigman series, and Beyond Good and Evil's not happening. And then by the end, I realised, oh, it is. But that was so different to stuff that this is clearly not a sequel. What the hell is this?
Yeah, and they've like there are some details on their official site as to like it's a space exploration game now.
Yeah, well,
You
so-
pulled a lot of stuff from there, didn't you? For
I
your-
did.
for
There's
your
a
facts.
crazy
I
amount
might be
of
spoiling the
stuff
future
on-
thing.
Well, it's okay. No, but I thought they'd done a Prey, or Prey 2, series about this,
Every time.
and just taken the name and decided let's redo everything. But then afterwards, and after I'd done an angry tweet, Michel Ancel says it's a prequel, and
Right.
that's good for me. And the world looks great, and that trailer, he says, is indicative of what will actually be happening in gameplay. So although it's all CGI, obviously,
Yeah.
it's
Bon Appetito.
it's roughly, it's bon appetito. It's like for like. That's what the chimp says.
I know.
Okay.
I hate the chimp.
Yeah.
I hate how
No,
he,
he's
But he's a space
amazing.
monkey.
I hate how he sounds. I
He's
hate
amazing.
how he speaks.
No, he's
but that's
alright.
the point. He's annoying.
Yeah,
He's
I
lovely.
hate him,
so
but I love
annoying.
him.
Oh, I think he's great. The only thing that I
brilliant.
want them to tone down on is the swearing. Not because
No.
it offends me or anything, but it's just so out of place.
Yeah,
you just don't need it.
It's nothing like, because you've just started the first one again.
Yeah,
haven't
I'm
you?
about an hour in.
There's not a single swear word all the way through.
No, it's really lovely and light-hearted, and then this
Yeah.
one he's like, you f***ing tough, right? And just like, why?
I think,
Be
I think it's fine. I think it's going to add a bit more. It's going to widen the audience, if nothing else. Because people, there's a certain kind of gamer that would not play Beyond Good and Evil 1 because it's
That is
too...
true. But are they really looking at this going, oh, it's the gritty sequel I've waited for?
Well, I don't know.
This is why I didn't play it the first time.
Yeah, no one said.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was waiting for a cockney chimp
Yeah.
to sort of get really
well,
angry about something.
but for now we'll have to watch this space because that was pretty much just a re-announcement. It's back at like 0%.
But at least we know that they're actually taking
But,
it seriously. They
yeah.
ended their conference with it.
Exactly.
Ubisoft did. So,
And if you look in the background of when he's announcing it, you can see Nox flying around on the jetpack behind on things. I went
Oh, yeah.
back and watched it again. So there is at least 5 frames of in-game footage that
Yes.
is out there. So technically, it's
Brilliant.
more than 0% now.
good.
Excellent.
They built a world.
They built a world.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
put people in it.
Some
They've
moons.
explained why
Universe
they
under
were.
construction.
Yes, universe under
Universe is
construction.
currently under construction.
They've explained why there's all these
Basically.
animal men in the first one. There's actually a reason for it now.
Oh, I don't want like lore backing for everything.
Well,
like, oh,
it's
what was
happening.
Page's full name? Then they got rid of the middle bit. Now he's called Page
Yeah.
or whatever.
We'll see.
Ben,
My number 2 is Spoderman, or Marvel's Spoderman.
Marvel's Spider-Man.
yes,
Marvel's
yes.
Spider-Man.
Do we think that's the name now?
It is. That's what all of the trailers say at the
Okay.
beginning. Marvel's Spider-Man.
It's not Homecoming.
So people will still call it Spider-Man, but I think on the box it will just say Marvel's Spider-Man.
Because that was the working title for so long, and then now they've just gone, just call it
I
Spider-Man.
thought it was just Spider-Man PS4, wasn't it?
Yeah, for a while then it was
Yeah.
like working title though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either
weird.
way, it's
anyway,
finished.
I'm really looking forward to that. We did
Yeah.
a big old discussion piece
did.
about that and a breakdown, so you can go and see that. Now, QTEs is something that you've expressed concern with.
Yeah.
Personally, the case we made in the discussion was that because Spider-Man is he's quite a rapid Dave, is Spider-Man. There are certain sections that just wouldn't really translate, and they
would
would
be
either have
impossible.
to be a cutscene, like little bits of Arkham games were,
Yes.
or you could just press a button. I don't mind pressing a button when it's necessary.
And like, yeah, my stance on it was just that it's not that I don't that I mind them like fundamentally, objectively, like objectively. Sorry, they serve a purpose. It's just like it just immediately looks dated, and it was. Just,
There were
you
a
know.
lot in there, but I suppose they wanted to pick the most one of the most
Yeah,
action
they wanted
to do
sections
The
to show
bit where
it
you
off.
stick a crane to a building.
Yeah,
So.
lots of Arkham comparisons
Yeah.
throughout that, and I like Spider-Man, and I want a good Spider-Man.
Oh hell yeah!
Do you know what was one of the most refreshing pieces of that demo? Was that when the big guy jumped out of the helicopter, I thought, oh, bloody hell, here we go, another thing where he has to dodge out of the way and he hits his head and gets dizzy. No, he just got tired.
he just took the fight right to him,
I was
which is
like,
quite nice.
okay, fair enough. And I was like,
Innovation.
cool, I like stuff
Saw
like that.
him off, yeah. Spider-Man shouldn't be defeated by a fat guy just because he's
No.
got special gloves.
We've all-
By
we've
the
already
way,
like,
it's just kind of like, oh, I just,
yeah, and he just smashes his
Give me a
face
mystical
into the
pan.
my
floor.
mystical powers are a
I'm too
bit.
fat.
Damn.
the only thing that got me with that was that it reminded me too much of the newer Spidey games.
Yeah.
Not the Amazing Spider-Man ones, the ones like Shattered Dimensions,
Yeah,
and things like that, where it's
Phoenix
very linear.
developed Spider-Man games.
Yeah, which like some of them are still fun, but like a lot of us, I think we remember Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi tie-in one,
Yeah.
as the best one.
Yeah.
So they need a hefty chunk of that side of it alongside the cinematic
They're
stuff.
real I mean, we were in our breakdown. We were desperately trying to look at all the small details we could, and you do get glimpses of the bigger city,
Yeah, yeah.
and it looks like it's really populated, and there's lots of stuff
hope so.
going on.
You can go down on the
So,
ground. Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
I live in hope.
Yeah, it was a very promising showing, and
Oh, yeah.
I'm very much looking
I
Still
will
great, I
also
still-
just
yeah.
add one thing. In Spider-Man 1 and I think 2, you met like Vulture and Shocker who weren't really related to the main narrative, and
No,
I
they
want to
just-
see bits like that where there's this whole thing going on, but every so often there's like, oh look, it's
Like
like
side villains.
Mysterio or whoever.
It also looks like they're taking the Arkham approach in that there were a couple of you're right? A couple of not signposts, billboards,
Billboards.
things like that with little hints.
Oh, just
and
hints
Easter
and
eggs.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Like, it looks like Black Cat might show up, and obviously the Osborns will be in there somewhere. And they're pretty popular.
Depending on how many assets they're sharing or how much of a window Insomniac have into the future of the silver screen version, the movie version.
Oh, it's completely unrelated.
I know that, but I wonder if they would bring across like the new design for Venom or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
Things like
If
that.
it's just
All the
Tom
new-
Hardy
all the-
rock.
All the new design of Vulture, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want it to just be totally standard.
I want it to be standalone.
I
I
want
want
it to be
uninfluenced
based
by
on the
films.
comics.
To be
like-
fair,
Yeah.
we have seen them use air quotes magic, so we have to assume that there will be a slightly supercilious.
It was a Higgs field, Jules. It was a Higgs field.
Sure, it was,
Has
mate.
a name.
Sure, it was.
Right, my other one. Let's quickly get through this. Is A Way Out. Is the game that I think I came away from E3 most looking forward to. This is developed by Hazelight Studios.
Yes.
And I'm going to read his name now. Is it Joseph Fares?
Yes, I think
Something
so.
Directed and written by him, who brought us
The chap that did Brothers.
a brother,
Two
Brothers.
Which I
Two
love.
Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. Fantastic game. It's a co-op prison-y type game. Looks sort
It
of
looks fantastic, yeah.
Uncharted-y.
Like the start of Uncharted 4, really?
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Two brothers in a prison, and
Trying
then
to
a
get
meteor.
and then a meteor.
Its full name.
And they ran as fast as they could.
It looks like what Prison Break should have been when it Prison Break video game.
Yeah.
God, remember that tie-in? That was a thing. Well, did you play Prisoner of War on the PS2? I think you did.
Flashbacks.
Yeah.
I know.
Yes. There was a thing on the PS2 called Prisoner of War.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
Scott
it's
loved
that.
it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just that. Like, but obviously without the schedule, the open world
It
schedule.
does look like they get out like at
Almost
least
immediately.
like halfway
yeah.
through the game.
A lot of that
but-
trailer was them not big. It
Yeah.
looks like they found a way out.
A way out of the
They found a
country,
way
I
out.
guess?
Yes, possibly.
Yeah, on the run.
It does. It's going to have local or online co-op, so you don't need to play it together. But it is actually built for co-op, and I think
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
ballsy move.
It's
to
very-
say,
you-
this
you-
is a co-op game.
Yeah.
Don't play it on your own.
You still see the other person's view, even if you're playing online, from what I've
Oh,
read.
really?
So,
Oh,
so
it's
you
split,
still-
so
yes,
always.
you-
Oh, it's always,
you
that's the whole
always see.
crack.
Yeah.
Because like Brothers, the whole crack with Brothers was that you had one analog stick and shoulder buttons for each character.
Yeah,
you
each
control
brother.
two at the same time.
Oh yeah, of course.
Which
yeah.
is great. So
Yeah.
like,
It
yeah.
lends itself to really interesting storytelling. Did you guys play Brothers?
Yes,
No,
I thought it was
I've seen
absolutely
it, but-
fantastic.
Spoilers for Brothers.
It's sad.
One of them dies,
Yes.
and then you just have half a controller that doesn't work
Yeah,
for the rest
yeah,
of the game,
yeah.
and you genuinely feel like
It's
you lost.
brilliant.
Oh my
Until
God.
the end, when when the brother learns to take on part the lessons learned, and the other controller bits come back to you.
It's
God, genius.
There are going to be lots of very clever split screen things.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to do.
God, I've just like seen bits of gameplay. I didn't know.
Oh, Brothers is phenomenal, man. You should play it.
It's brilliant. Really good. And we just ruined it for
Yeah.
you. So
No,
sorry
it's still
about that.
great.
The brother dies.
But yeah, that's launching in early 2018. It's coming to all to PS4, Xbox, and PC, and I'm really looking forward to that. What are your concerns, sir?
My disappointment was Microsoft just not have. I love the Xbox conference. I think I'm maybe the most positive on it out of all of us.
Okay.
But I just wished they had one big marquee exclusive that was just like a Horizon or a Zelda.
Yeah.
That you just look at and go, man, I want to play that.
Yeah.
Like they don't have any big titles. It's a very solid like conference, and as I wrote it up, I was like, actually, there's a lot more here that I do really like. But they don't have that one game, and they need it.
Or even down to the actual character, or like mascot style, like iconic person. Like they don't have a Master Chief, or they don't have a Gears of War man, whatever his name.
Marcus Phoenix.
Marcus Phoenix.
One
Yeah.
of the Phoenixes.
Yeah, there was none of that.
And that was the thing, because it was a 2-hour conference, and I remember like getting about an hour in and thinking and like reading online that there was another hour to go, and I was like,
It's a long old conference.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, the second half's going to be like all the big stuff, all of our new IPs, all of our new franchises. No. And it was like the big exclusives are like Crackdown, which looked like just more Crackdown.
It looked very Saints Row.
Yeah, and it's like all wacky, like Crackdown's always been a bit like that, and it just wasn't anything there. And it wasn't to knock them as a presentation, a very solid presentation. I just wish they had one game.
Yeah,
so that was my thing. I just wanted one big takeaway, and it wasn't there.
Jules.
I think that my lowest point of the entire conference just has to be the worst game I saw, which was Lucky, that Lucky game.
Super Lucky's
that was
Tales.
The one we were all terrified was going to be
there was
Conkers.
It looked absolute shit, and I thought that it was going to be the way that the arts, the presentation started. The little characters walk on, and I was like, my god, the PS2 looks great in comparison.
Johnny
now.
Generics
and then
coming on.
It was like, and then when they came on, I thought, oh, maybe Conker will come on and kill them all, because it would be like, oh, look at
It
this
did
crappy
look like
game.
a parody,
and then
didn't
it
it?
just
Yeah.
never stopped, and the joke never came, and then no one was laughing, and then people were crying, and that was Lucky. Wow.
That was the thing, because it was like you saw Mr. Generic come on, and then it was just like
it looked slow. All of the gameplay looked absolutely appalling. Like it couldn't decide whether it was going to be a kids game or
looks
yeah,
good
that's
in
yeah, that's, yeah. So
comparison,
when I
right? Combat.
when I saw Knack 2, I was just kind of like, my god, I'd never thought I'd be
Knack
praising a
stepped
Knack.
up. Yeah.
the first Knack isn't that bad. Not to start a flame war, but it's not that bad.
I guess there's an act to it, right?
And that was my lowest point of E3, second only to this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Peter.
Oh boy, here I go killing again. I thought, can I actually say two, briefly?
Whoa.
Break it all
in the
loose.
same breath.
Yeah.
Go.
It's either Rabbids or that game that Frodo Baggins did.
Scott's
Rabbids is brilliant. What are you on about?
Rabbids.
Well, that's why I threw the other one in, because I know how much.
I mean, I like the minions.
It just
The
looks
game
like
that Frodo
The weird
Baggins
start of
built.
the Ubisoft.
Oh, that weird transference.
Yeah, here's a weird sort of concept that we're not even explaining to you properly.
Oh, is that with the controller with
Transference,
the
or was it?
massive stuff?
Oh, no,
bolted
no.
onto it?
No, that
that was
great.
also
Right.
awful.
I'm sorry, what?
Wait a minute, there was a...
I'm sorry,
You
what?
want a
like-
ship like this big
Yeah.
on top of your controller?
Toys to Life is a great way to go. You think the real world, and then it goes into the game.
I've created
my
absolute
God.
carnage here. I've named
Have you
three.
not seen an
That's like
amiibo?
bolting this on top of your gun, Scott. to
Yeah,
make
but then
it.
in the game you get to play as that. It's
What?
great.
I don't want to be a floating gun.
Well, not yet. You don't. You wait till you see it.
Right, I think Rabbids look like a bit of a patchwork where they've made XCOM and then just put Mario and Rabbids in it for some
That's
reason.
exactly why I love it. So
Okay, and I thought Frodo Baggins, Elijah Wood, just sort of sat there.
Reminded
and,
you of Spyro immediately.
Yeah, it reminded me of those dark times.
He
That,
can't do serious things.
No.
Just someone needs to tell him.
and they didn't show us any gameplay, and it was just the most pretentious thing. Going, oh, there's this thing where you can like get scary emotions from
We've
a
learned how to
video.
read brainwaves.
But then they didn't even go into it. And enough you either have to like disclose enough of the concept or disclose enough of the gameplay. They did neither.
Yeah, it's
So,
disappointing because
that's
it
that.
seems like it could be a good premise, but they just didn't even have the guts to
Yeah.
follow through.
It
with
was
any
the
of
thing from like 3 years ago
Show
where
us
it's like, hey, VR's going to be a thing.
I'm gonna back
Nothing
up
else.
Peter though on the Rabbids Mario Kingdom thing. I
need you.
Don't look at me.
I'm backing him. I'm backing him up because
I'm
it's
Switzerland in this.
it's XCOM for kids.
It is.
And
Which is fine.
I think
It
that's
is fine.
fine. But why couldn't it have just been just Mario? He's got enough enemies and people to have in there. I mean, the
Mario
rabbits
looks
need to stay away
so
because
surprised
they
that he's there.
Yeah, it is weird.
they are cancerous.
going
on?
They really are terrible.
That,
I hate
well,
rabbits. I
it's
hate
clearly,
rabbits.
like I was saying to Peter, it's clearly Ubisoft's financiers looking at the minions and going, we had them first.
That's true.
And that's just
That's
what it is.
not a good thing.
It can be if you like the minions or the rabbits.
Yeah, it's a
not
money
a good
thing.
thing, but it's
Yeah.
a money thing.
Rabbits are hilarious.
Ben,
Yeah.
what do you hate?
I hate Ubisoft.
Okay.
I hate Ubisoft.
I don't hate all of
As we
Ubisoft.
discussed
No, yes.
in our very well received Assassin's Creed video.
Oh.
It was half and half last I checked.
Oh, good, right, yes.
By
So
a
the
peaks now.
Ubisoft open world production line continues. We saw The Crew 2, which is hysterical that that's even being made.
It's not-
Devoid of all life and personality. Then we saw Far Cry 5, which, if, as I said to you guys, if you'd have told me that was Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands,
Yeah,
I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference,
Yeah.
honestly. They all look the same thing with different skins, and none of them have a narrative or a story that's worth sticking around for. And that is a trend that seems to be tragically continuing this year.
You made a good point in the way that Steep is just we built a mountain and let's make some mechanics to go on this mountain. Was the same thing with
Steep's still alive.
Steep, yeah, I mean-
I said if this is Steep, I will laugh.
Well, yes, that's not what I was going to say.
They managed to get an Olympics
I forgot
tie-in.
they've done the Olympics. What I was going to say was, but what they've now done is built a place with lots of roads and rivers and gone, oh, here's some driving and plane and boat
Why,
mechanics.
though? Like,
you
why
can
would-
tell
for the
that they were
crew.
built separately. Yeah.
Hey,
I think
remember
you can.
GTA 5?
Yeah.
We took everything out but the vehicle.
But this is the thing, I have hopes that one day Ubisoft will release the final finished game.
Where it's
everything.
Every single
thing.
That you'll just basically turn around and be like, oh my god, I'm in Far Cry Wildlands.
What you said,
Just called Ubisoft's It.
And I'm basically they're just kind of like, it's like, do you want to do anything?
Ubiface.
You can do anything. It's
There's
like,
just
I
an
want
eagle like carrying a drone in his feet.
It's like, I want to snowboard down a mountain, then hop onto the back of
And
a
land
plane,
in a
and then
hidden
land, and then have a fighting game as well.
And
you
stab
can do
the
it.
pilot.
Just a
Yeah.
knight from For Honor leaping off into a bale of hay.
brilliant.
Just
I'd buy
it's
that
gonna
game.
Come, it's
I'd
going to
buy
come
that
full
game.
circle. He's so heavy, he just goes straight through the car and he dies. And we all die. Anyway,
Ubisoft It's.
that was
where it's
Ubisoft's
at.
It. I think is what we're all looking forward to now.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were our negatives. I think they're fair negatives, really, on reflection.
Yeah,
Apart from Rabbids.
Rabbids, I like Rabbids, but that's a debate for another time. I can also defend Far Cry 5, but I'm not going to do it here because Assassin's Creed is very much more in need of a good
time.
skewering.
Right, okay, cool. Well, there we go. I think that's pretty much all of our E3 coverage. We've also got a list about embarrassing E3 moments that will be coming soon.
Yeah, the cringe.
The cringe. Oh boy, there was some cringe this year.
Cringe was real.
And we'll be counting down those. But for now, thank you so much for watching all of our E3 coverage this week. And be sure to watch all of our other E3 stuff that's out now.
Let us know in the comments below about your favourite things and worst things. And although we did end on the bad things, remember we did say some nice things earlier on.
Yeah.
We did.
Let's just keep
Most
that
of
in
the
you
mind.
can't
video
remember
was
them.
really nice.
Positive.
Anyway,
Yes.
I've been Ben from What Culture.
I've been scarred in what order we're going in.
I'm Jules from Ubisoft.
And I'm Peter from WhatCulture.com.
That went really well, I think.
Yes.
Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next year.
Bye.
Bye.